I'm just unpicking these bits of loose thread so that it'll be a bit neater when we come to sew. So the very first bit that we do is sew the zip onto the left-hand side. You put it face down, so the zip is facing the fabric. And you want to make sure that this top bit is will go into the waistband. So you kind of want the top of the zip, where these two metal bits are, to be about 1 centimetre from the top of the fabric. Put that there, and then you can either pin it in place. If you're using a sewing machine to do this, you want to put your zip foot on your machine because that'll make it a lot easier. Sew it on, you don't need to go all the way to the bottom of the zip, you just want to go to the little metal clasp at the bottom. And do a little back stop to finish it off. There we go. That's that attached on there. For the next bit, we're attaching this, which we removed earlier. You want to line up the top of the fabric with the top there and pin that in place. And then you want to line up the edges there so it's all nice and neat, and then pin it all in place. With this one again, you don't need to sew all the way to the bottom. You sew to about the same place at the end of the zip is, the metal clasp. So that's about here. So that's that side of the zip attached. I'm just going to do some top stitching along here, so that everything looks nice and everything's holding in place. So we've sandwiched the zip between the trouser fabric and the fly fabric, so it's in the middle like that. So when you fold it over, it will look like that. There we go. So just going to do a little bit of top stitching just along the edge here to keep everything looking neat. So at this point we have attached this side of the zip and the fly here. So the next bit will be just to attach this bit, which goes on the underside of the fabric. So that will hide the zip and it'll be sewn on to the underside there. For this next bit, we're going to sew this side of the zip onto this flap here. You can look at where the stitching that you unpicked earlier is, and then you can just line the zip up with that line of stitching. So on mine, there's a row of holes here, and that's where the zip was attached earlier. So you can line that on there and then pin it in place. And you don't want to pin it through both layers of fabric, you're just pinning it onto this flap here. So that's the zip attached onto the flap, and then we just need to attach the flap onto the trousers, and then we're almost done. So we're going to get these two pieces and then lie them flat against each other and pin them in place. There we go. And then you can follow the row stitching that we unpicked last time. This little row here, and there's a second little row there, so you just sew over that. There we are. So those two pieces there are pinned together, and we're just going to sew them in place. So over here I've sewn down to there so that this flap is attached. Now I'm going to close the zip and unpin this flap here. So I've this bit was pinned on there, and now I've unpinned it so it can lie flat like that. And then I'm going to finish this row of stitching, and it will hold that in place. So I'll finish this row of stitching here, along here, and that will hold this flap in place at the bottom, along here. This bit will probably be quite hard to see because it's kind of like inside here, but I'll try and make it make sense. At the bottom of the zip is a little hole there, so we just need to sew along this line here and this line here, and that will close that up. Now the zip is attached back in, and the last little bit you need to do is just re-sew the waistband there and on there. So do that by feeding the pieces back into the waistband, into that gap. Yeah, there's like a hole there. Put that back in. There we go, that is that side sewn on. There we go.